everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be all about brows, basically, from grooming to filling them in to everything. So this video is gonna be divided in 3 parts. The first part is gonna be on my tips and tricks, how I style my brows, what products I use, why I use them, stuff like that. The second part is gonna be an actual tutorial on how I groom my brows, and the third part is gonna be a tutorial on how I fill them in. So if you guys want to skip some parts, I'm gonna leave the times in the description bar. And if you want to know how to do everything on your brows, then just keep on watching. So to do my brows, to remove the hairs from my brows, what I usually use is wax. And I know a lot of people don't work really well with wax because, I mean, it tugs on your skin, and if you have sensitive skin, it might create bumps and stuff like that. So I get that, but it really works for me, and that's the method I've been using for a long time now. What I usually use are these little waxing strips right here, and what I do is I cut them. So I cut them into little strips, and when I go to apply them on the top of my brows, I actually only wax the top of my brows because this area right here is too sensitive to wax, I think. The thing I don't like about the method with wax and the little stick and you apply the hot wax, that freaks me out because I think you have to be like super precise for the wax not to go all over the place, and that freaks me out. I don't like that. What I like about the method where you cut it is that you have a lot of control because you already have like a straight line. You just need to yank the strip and the line is created. So I think it's really good. You guys are gonna see it on the actual tutorial. It's a lot easier if you do it that way. But let's say you have sensitive skin and you don't want to use wax because you feel like it's gonna like create bumps on your skin. Another option you have is threading. And threading is really easy. You can do it by yourself. It's just really simple. There's a lot of tutorials here on YouTube. But I mean, I think it's more time consuming, first of all, and it also hurts more. I only thread when I feel like my skin is too sensitive to handle the wax. Now, to remove the hairs below my brows, what I usually use 2 tweezers. I use a slanted tweezer to remove the majority of the hair, and like a really pointy one to remove like the little hairs that you see sometimes and you can get with the regular tweezers. So I use those 2. Another thing I do is trimming the brows, and I can stress this enough. Trimming the brows, it makes such a huge difference because it really polishes everything. Sometimes you have you can take the hair around the brows, but you have long hair still. So trimming is really good for your brows, but you need to be careful the way you do it because like when I first started doing it, it was a mess. So be careful. I'm gonna show you in the tutorial the way I think it's easier to do it, and that way you don't cut too much hair, because if you cut too much, it actually looks like you shaved your brows. It looks like you have pubes growing out instead of brows. Now, to fill in my brows, what I use is this palette from Makeup Revolution, and it's really good. It has a lot of shades for you to choose from, and you can mix around to get the perfect shade for you. It also has this pomade, but I usually just use the powder because I think it looks really natural and it's the easiest thing for me to do. I just apply that with an angle brush and I'm good to go. Now, let's say you haven't done your brows for a long time and you don't know like where they should start, the art should be, where they should end, anything like that, or you just want to reshape them basically. I'm pretty sure all of you know this method already, but it's also always good to remind you. So take a pencil like this. I like to use a pencil because you can actually like do little dots on your face. Take a pencil, look, and put the pencil beside your nostril, and where the pencil meets your brow, that's where your brow should start. Now, don't take the pencil off of the side of your nostril. Just turn it a little bit, look straight ahead, and where the pencil meets your eyeball, that's where your R should be. So you should create a dot right there. Now, don't take the pencil again off of the side of your nostril. Meet the pencil on the corner of your eye, and this is where your brow should finish. So create a dot right there. And if you do this, you have like a guideline for your brows, and it's a lot easier for you to know exactly what type of shape your brow should have. Now, the first tip I have for you guys is alternate your brows. What I mean by this is like, don't do one brow and then go and do the other, because it's a lot more difficult to make both brows look even if you do it this way. So you just take a few hairs off of one brow, then take a few hairs off of the other. So if you do this and alternate in between brows, it's a lot easier for your brows to be even at the end. Another thing, if you don't know what hairs you're going to remove from below your brow, what you can do is take a white pencil and trace the line you would like to have below your brow. And only remove the hairs that are below that line, if that makes any sense. And if you do that, you just follow that guideline and your brows will be perfect at the end because you're gonna take the exact hairs you should. Now another tip for you is don't use a magnifying mirror. I know it's tempting because you want to see all the hairs you need to take, but if you do that, you're not going to be seeing the big picture. You need to see your brows, how they are looking in your face, not as one thing, if that makes any sense. If it hurts a lot when you do your brows, if it's like tearing up for the entire thing, make sure you use numbing cream. I mean, I've never used it because I'm strong like that and I don't need it. Just kidding, I never have it at home, so that's why I don't use it. But I know it helps a lot of people, so make sure to use that. And check out how I do my brows right now.
Say hi to voiceover me. Oh, and by the way guys, give this video a thumbs up just for the simple fact that I let my brows grow out for more than a month for this video, and if that's not commitment, then I don't know what is, okay? So I just start with wax, and it's very simple. I just apply the strip and follow the shape I want my brows to have. And here's the proof that actual hairs came out. I'm sorry if you guys don't want to see that. It's part of the video. Sorry. So I just do the top part of my brows, and the reason why I don't do the bottom part is because the skin is too sensitive on that area and I don't want to pull it. So after I do that, I go and do the front of the brow because ain't nobody trying to have a unibrow up in here, okay? Ew. Gross. So now I'm gonna trim my brows, and the way I comb it, it's very important. So the front of the brow I comb it up, and the center I comb it diagonally, so that way it follows the natural shape of the brow. And right now I'm just trimming it just for the sake of actual seeing what hairs I need to remove with the tweezers. I'm not being too neat and not trimming too much because I'm gonna be doing that one last time at the end just to finish everything off. But right now I just do this to see what hairs I need to remove. So now I go in with the tweezers and I just start shaping my brows basically. So I use this tweezer to remove the majority of the hair, and a smaller one, a pointier one, to take the smaller hairs that I can get, as I said in the beginning. And don't be afraid to go in the beginning of your brow. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of doing that, but you're not gonna mess it up. It actually is gonna look more polished and put together. And here you can actually see why I trimmed the brows before this, is so that I can see what hairs I need to remove above my brows, and I use the pointier tweezer for that. And here you can see that a tiny hair makes a big difference, so I like to go in with this tweezer and remove the hairs that I feel like are not giving my brow that straight shape that I want. And I'm taking these hairs that you can't even see, but in 4 days they're gonna be very noticeable, so I'm taking care of them right now. And now for the final step, I just trim again, and I'm just doing this as a finishing touch just to remove those hairs that are still a little bit long. So I trim once in the beginning and a second time at the end. And the brows are finally groomed, so here you go. You can see the difference. Pretty nice. Not so nice. And after the other brow is done, I just go in with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and apply it on the part I waxed, and this really prevents me from getting bumps on my skin. Alright, so now to filling in. It's a lot easier to fill in your brows when they're nicely shaped already, so that's why I emphasize most of this video on shaping your brows. But to fill in is just very simple, so I take an angle brush and some powder from the palette I showed you guys previously. And I start by outlining the brows. So do the bottom part and do the upper part of the brows first. And I start a quarter of the way in because I don't want the beginning of my brows to be really harsh and with a lot of product. And then I just fill in. And for the tail of the brow, I like to go in with my finger and kind of smooth it in and fade it so that it looks a little bit sharper. And with the remainder of product on the brush, I just go in the front part of my brow and start filling that in. And that way it looks really faded because we don't have a lot of product. Now this part is optional, and I'm mostly doing this for the sake of this video because I only do this when I have little hairs growing out and I want to hide them. But you can apply concealer underneath your brows with a flat top brush, and that really makes it crisper and more polished. But be careful because this can go bad real fast if you don't blend it well, and if you apply a concealer that's too light for you, it can look very artificial. So make sure you use your finger to blend it, because the warmth of your fingers really helps it not look cakey. And you can also do the top part of your brow, but I only like to do it from the bottom half down because I feel like it looks more natural that way. And again, make sure to really blend it well. I like to blend it up with a brush and then go in with my finger. Don't forget to set everything with powder. And that's pretty much it, guys. The brows are done. I really hope you guys liked this video and it was helpful. Hope you can take some tips and tricks from it. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting a lot more videos soon, and I'll see you next time. Bye!